welcome back. Once again, seeing another episode of Frieren, but with it being the last episode of the season, things aren't quite the same. Having to steady myself, knowing that we're going to be away from this world for quite a while. I'm not sure I'm ready for it. I've enjoyed it thoroughly, having the journey kind of unlike any other storytelling that has been done, because this is reminiscing of the world past, its impact, what you can learn from it. And sometimes we don't always understand or know people's wants and needs until it's far too late. I am glad that we've passed through the Mage exam now. We're on the other side of it, so they can continue the journey, but with it being the last one, I don't think they're reaching the promised land, the heaven up north, the end to all of this conclusion. They're now just stepping out on the next leg of their adventure, starting off once again. And probably, much like we've seen before with the goodbye to Sign and the elf dude, can't remember his name right now, but we were saying goodbye to them. We haven't met anyone that is quite so familiar with them, got so close to them as those have, but there's a few faces amongst the Mage exam that especially Frieren took some time to learn and reach out to, so just skipping out on the town now would be a disservice to them. But after Fern turned down the offer of being Serie's new apprentice, how was that taken? Well, I suppose. But how much of the world is still out there waiting for us? Probably a few mimics along the way. But there's no point just holding back as much as I can. I don't want good things to end, so I'm not pressing play. But time marches on, so grab yourself a drink. We need to get into it. Staring deeply into my soul, much like Frieren's premonitions, as always said he was going to fail her, no matter what Fern said, she'd make it through. That's just how much faith she had in both her own teaching, but also Fern's potential. And once they've achieved that first rank, first class certification, they can move out. That was the whole point of all of this. But for their new journey, are they going to bring anyone else in? I think that the entirety of Frieren being this experiment of basic world building, really, and we're just following along characters who live in it. Most of the deeds have already been accomplished, and we're just seeing the remnants of it. It's a neat way to go through it all. And of course, then there's bits like the dragon or the demons, which they do have a direct involvement with. He's put in a lot of effort in the few years that he has had. But with time being such a fickle mistress, well, that would have been their decision a while back. There's he hasn't. He may be just embers of his former self, but he still has some fight in him. Rather than withdrawing and thinking, it's impossible. There is, no comment needed. This entire interaction is just pass, or she's gonna start attacking anyway. And if the idea of at least come yourself. He never set foot on any of the tests, though. And just for this, I mean, I like him. I've said it before. Good that both of them passed there. The fact that we had, he's no need to put himself in danger. He can think of any way to fight opponents if he's doing it from a distance. Just out of pragmatism. I mean, they would die a pitiful death if they just went into everything headstrong. Unless they're Ubel. Huh. So different ones are getting some level of expectation from him. Uh-huh. Yeah, they're insane. To varying degrees. Wait, they passed just on that? There's actually a fair few amount of passes. There was a few that didn't make it through, but... Is she going to now go and get her cup of tea? She finds it to his apartment, to his house. It's good to hear. The fact he's doing this for a reason like that. He has this past and position and whatnot, but it's a personal reason. Oh, it's a tough decision. Savory or sweet? Why not both? Well, no, they have to fight to the death over it. Oh, they sweet pretzels, okay. Well, they're happy. Does Stark get to have any? I really didn't expect Fern and Stark in a tea party. There's a good bit of history between the characters at the table here, at least in the past week or so. I see he's got some PTSD after talking to Noble so casually before. Has he dedicated his life? dedicated his life to his studies and position. And it was... He just happened by it too late. Advancements both in medical and magic coming just a few years after they're needed. Just not make that mistake again. Push forward so no one has to live through what he did. Well, he should have a word for himself then. If it's the heroes that he admired. They say never meet your heroes, and in this case they're probably right, but then again, Frieren is an oddity. Books. Anything actually useful in them? Her oranges. Is there a spell for picking them up? There's a spell for picking them up. But she looked like she had it handled. There's no point of getting involved. More altruistic. Considering what the air that he put off, just because he was killing in the moment. He tried to kill me. Doesn't mean he has to be antagonistic all of the time. But undue suffering isn't part of his character. Well, anyone that wants to go out and slay demons is a friend of Frieren. Because it brings everyone up, does it not? The northern frontier, we're hearing a lot of it. He definitely left a legacy. Were they lost to legend or too far away where they left out so many details? But the fact he helped out in any situation, whether it be big and grand, saving the lives of all, or just help weed the gardens, whatever actually people needed. What a symbol he was. The ones that did... Normal life is difficult enough before being assaulted by demons and creatures from the beyond. And Frieren has plenty of those. The fact that it's not the big things, the small parts of his actual character is what he was following. Well, people's vision of what the hero was compared to his actual self. Hmm. To think we'd have such a. She could. Definitely could. What's he just don't have to put up with her anymore? I mean, if they're having such trouble with a task like this, imagine trying to do it as your day-to-day life. He was a hero through and through, wasn't he? No matter what it was. And there are people out there who follow in his vein. Hmm. No, that's a face full of excitement and desire. Ah, for the next 1,000 years. Those references to Flam and was it her favourite spell? Was that what really tipped the scales? If she's not going in, yeah, none of them will. So, I mean, fewer than 50, and we got a fair bunch recognised this year alone. How long before, yeah, the first class mages fall into history and legend? Just a fable to be passed down the ages. He's come to speak to her directly. Someone that Serie was talking about in earnest before. Hmm? What was that shift, the little wiggle in his eyes just there? Peaceful era. He wants, yeah, battle, bloodshed, something to keep the energy up. Huh. Let me guess. It wants to do something before his. Hmm. So, if she's the legendary fairy tale of the great mage, he will be as well. Just he just doesn't want to be forgotten. That's it. But breaking through those defensive barriers, eh, fair enough. After not declaring an actual fight or letting it happen. He ruined her clothes. And if it's all for recognition or something like that, to be remembered in a sense, well, by an immortal, yeah, there's worse ways. If it's so useless, why is it still here, still being used? A little unfair to want humans to reach their level. Most, which means some didn't. Some actually got there. I want to know some of those. Why aren't they the legendary students? Recall each one and their favourite spell. For one that seems so aloof and alone, saying the music needs to be magic needs to be held amongst those who can actually truly wield it. But is she going to actually be open to what's good? No, just probably get it healed. Yeah, just be open a little. Speak out your mind, your wishes. For Frieren to be the one being like, can't express yourself properly. Just talk things out. Wow, if she's telling you to do it. I love this. The fact that all the village people are so acquainted with him. He's had so much time to try. He's taught them all he could. But all the village people are saying their farewells to him, greeting him as he goes by. He kept busy while they were out doing magic. Oh, she actually looked so smug right then. Was it some basic detergent spell? Actually would save a lot of time. A legendary level spell. Washing. It just goes to show how far magic has actually fallen throughout the years. She is her student. I mean, practical magic is useful in of itself, is it not? I think I'd rather have something that I would use on a near daily basis than some extravagant spell that would take it out of me each time and only be used once in a decade. Hopefully they won't fall by the wayside or die before then or during the next test. Hopefully they'll learn well to live up to her standards after everything she's taught them. Well, no one likes drawn out goodbye. Craft! No one likes drawn out goodbyes in this, do they? Huh. Is there a reason behind it? Is it because, well, we'll see them one day anyway? That's the parts that he remembers, no matter how poorly he actually remembers the nights. The time's almost over. I'm sure we'll meet again. always looking on that side, the bright side of things. You know, don't leave the memory of a crying, tearful face. Have the hopes of meeting again, no matter how far down the line. Whether we're no matter how solemn it was. Now going through, seeing the various parts and locations that we experienced through that early journey. I mean, at least he's enjoying himself, but there's a rather heartfelt smile just there. That came out of nowhere. Yeah, join in a conversation midway when you have no context. And chatting in the mind palace, being able to think about times past, reliving conversations. Yeah, then just saying a random tidbit in a segment from it. What are you on about, Frieren? But I like the idea, you don't need to be stoic or anything, not to put up appearances, but just because time's not over yet, we can see each other again. But also, I'm thinking, throughout all the time that we've spent with them, and Frieren has thought about her past times with Himmel the hero, does it recontextualize the bits before when she didn't quite understand things, or when we didn't know what they meant to each other as part of the party? I do like Serie being withdrawn and holding on to magic and what it means, and being the gatekeeper of it all. If they haven't put in the effort, if they can't see themselves rising to a rank to obtain it, then they don't get to. And then when there are the special cases, the ones who are not so straightforward, the ones who don't have to put up may put up a bit of a front, but also haven't burnt out completely. The ones who can envisage themselves reaching onwards, yeah, they are the kind of mages you want. Whereas Frieren does seem content in reliving the past. It's not what Serie wants in a mage, in a person at all. But also slightly, I think I started a sentence during the actual episode, but then kind of lost it midway. Serie being this aloof character who doesn't seem to care much about the outside world. Magic is a special form that is only the greats are allowed to be in its presence. And yet, every single student, no matter how far along the journey they got, obviously they're pretty far because they were Serie students, remembered each one, even if they had a tiny flicker of a lifespan in her eyes. Remembered each one, remembered their favourite spells, what it meant to them. Even if Serie doesn't quite understand it herself. I think with the backdrops and the journeys and the environment of their past adventures being shown to us here, relive it all. It may have been a short while, but each one was a momentous learning step for all of them, for Frieren especially. Saying goodbye to some of the shorter-lived members of the hero party. their final resting places. But their memory lives on in stories and their actions throughout their lives, what it could mean to the world, what their impact on it all has been. We knew from the start, there are going to be certain characters who actually made it through and got their certification, Fern being one of them, after being said, well, no matter what you do or say, you'll get through. I kind of imagined Ubel would as well, mainly because, well, how Serie sees things. If they can't imagine themselves contemplating a fight or imagining how they might go forward, they don't have what it takes to be a first-class mage. Ubel doesn't pull away from anything. So, yeah, if it's there, it can be cut. Therefore, there's a way she can win. And then the others who have a more confident approach, even if just for a fraction of a second, thinking it could be a way, but it might not be worth it. That alone was worthy. I mean, if the test was to fight and win over Serie, then just execute themselves now. But as far as stories go, it was slow in places when it needed to be. It was reminiscing on the past and history of their lives. Maybe sometimes a little taunting when it come up. So why are you remembering it now? But I do hope that there are sights, sounds, smells even, that will jog my memory many years in the future to make me relive moments of my life which meant so much to me at the time. And I hope I can make so many more memories in the future. And spend them with those that I care most about. Although I don't think I can be so stoic when the time to say goodbye actually comes. Even if we do meet again. But whatever magic may mean to you, a field of flowers, a healthy living, dose of spells, I hope you can look forward to the future, what it may bring, who you may meet along the way, no matter where your own journey takes you. And if you've made it this far, I really must thank you. Somehow you've put up with me for this long. But if you've enjoyed Frieren, let me know. Leave a like and a comment down below. Consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out whatever's on its way. But truly take care of yourselves, so that I can see you in the next one. For some reason, my patrons want to remember me throughout the years, and so I really do need to thank M.O, Noku, Sao, Guado, Kite, Wolfie Sensei, and everyone else for not forgetting me, my name, or some of the dumb things I may have said throughout my channel. Though we may not face an era of magic, I'm really thankful for each and every one of you.